Well, hello. My name is Carl Burnside, and I'm the proud principal of Dunbar High School here in Fort Myers, Florida. A few weeks ago, the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority asked me to come to an event they were having where they wanted me to speak about STEM education. At Dunbar High School, we specialize in STEM education, and they felt like there were some things that I could offer to the young people who were attending this workshop that particular day. After the presentation, Mr. Jesse Deutsch from Community TV asked if I would come out and do an additional presentation so I could share it throughout the community. At Dunbar High School, we have a saying that achievement is the expectation. And our students, we don't hope to achieve, we expect to achieve. Now, knowing that, it's important to have something to achieve for. And what we have done at Dunbar High School is create a very powerful STEM program. And just in case you don't know, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Those are the careers and the areas where our young people must be ready to go forth and compete in. That's where the jobs are going to occur, in STEM education. And I can honestly say that at Dunbar High School, right here in this community, you have one of the most powerful STEM programs in the United States. Now, many of you may already be familiar with the T part of STEM at Dunbar High School, the technology program. We have been recognized as having the top technology high school in the United States. And I'll share a couple of facts with you about that. About 5 years ago, we were recognized by Microsoft as the only Microsoft certified high school in the world. And it didn't just stop there. Another IT corporation, Adobe, recognized us as an Adobe model school. And even most recently, Dunbar High School was recognized as a Microsoft mentor school. And what that meant was that once we attained that status, we were invited to attend the Microsoft Global Forum in Barcelona, Spain. And that forum consisted of 6 schools from the United States being invited, 6 principals. We were flown over to Barcelona, and there were over 85 countries present at this world forum. School leaders from China, Australia, France, England, from all over the world. And it just shows just how much Dunbar High School is doing in the area of STEM education. Dunbar High School is doing in the area of STEM education. Tell you this. Besides the technology program, and I'm going to share with you some of our other programs here. We have the engineering program and the science program, and as a matter of fact, the newest thing is that we are now an International Baccalaureate Candidate School, or IB Candidate School, and we will get our final authorization within the next 6 months. So as we go, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the honors and some of the awards with our next slide. And so we are called the Academy for Technology Excellence. Now in that technology program, yes, our kids learn how to repair computers, they learn about networking, but they're also learning about programming. Many of you also are aware of this term, cybersecurity. If you have a credit card, if you use the internet, you know that the security of that information is very vital. So as a result, they need a lot of jobs, a lot of employees to fulfill that need. So our students at Dunbar High School in our Academy for Technology Excellence are involved in that. Also, a lot of your kids are interested in gaming. So we have a game design program where kids learn how to program, but through using the process and the process of game design. So we're very excited about what we're doing. Students can leave, and on the next slide we're going to talk about a little more about our technology program with tons of certifications. Now these certifications are not certificates given by Dunbar High School. They are certifications that are given globally by Microsoft, by Cisco, by CompTIA. And these certifications, when kids receive them, they are able to go anywhere in the United States, or excuse me, anywhere in the world to show those credentials and gain employment. They are also certifications that colleges and universities accept for college credit. So it's just not a terminal program. Our students can get up to 30 certifications. As a matter of fact, if you went to a college and you learned this information, and if you took all of the tests, that education is worth almost $20,000 that you get for free at Dunbar High School. And we have a lot of students who go out while they're in high school and get jobs. They're able to get employment. They're able to become leaders. As a matter of fact, I'll give you one example. A few years ago, we had a business partner who was the IT director at a bank. He had a master's degree in technology from the University of Florida. When the bank hired him to run their IT, and when I mean IT, I'm talking about informational technology, but basically run their technology in their bank, they said to him he had to get his certification in Cisco, he had to get certification in CompTIA, and his Microsoft certification within a year in order to keep the job. What was interesting, he was amazed by the fact that we had kids who were getting all those certifications while in high school that he had to get even though and had not received even though he had a master's degree in technology. That just gives you an idea of the power of the program in technology at Dunbar High School. We had a student who's going to the Florida Gulf Coast who actually was hired by Chico's making over $40,000 a year while he's in college, getting his degree. We had one student that finished so many of the certifications. When he went to college at Davenport University in Michigan, he went in as a junior. And so that's just an example of the power within our programs. And you'll see a listing of so many of our certifications that our students can get. And it's not just it's also in the creative area. Some students are real creative. They want to do web pages. They want to design things. So we have certifications in those areas as well. And of course, the basic certifications are in office. There's not a job that anyone will get where you don't need some technology experience. So it really creates a platform for our students to go to the cutting edge. Understand that the children that are coming through our schools today, they're not just competing with the students locally or within the state. This is a global competition. So it's even more important that our students here within our community get the edge that they need to be not just successful, but to go to the top, because it is a very competitive environment. Now, at the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the accomplishments that we've had at Dunbar High School. I mentioned them earlier, but one being the first Microsoft certified high school in the world. CompTIA, we were declared a nationwide model. CompTIA basically deals with, for those who don't know, how computers are networked, how they connect to the network, and that type of thing, and also how to repair them. So we were at the top of that. Adobe featured us in their international newsletter as the model for a high school and how students are learning within there. Matter of fact, Adobe has come out to do a video program on us. Microsoft came out and spent 3 days at our school to video and do a story on what we're doing here. We have school leaders from all over the country to find out what's happening at Dunbar High School. We've had someone from Indiana, someone from Colorado, some from the East Coast here in Florida, from Tampa, from other states that throughout our country. And the other thing too is not just as a school, we have our individual students who are excelling as well. As a matter of fact, and we'll keep going to the next slide. We had a young lady, Juliana Stanton Toyloy, excuse me, who went to the worldwide Microsoft competition, and she finished 3rd in the world in Microsoft PowerPoint. That's 3rd in the world. She was top in the United States that year. And that's just amazing, right here from Dunbar High School. This year, and so it's not a fluke, we have 2 students who are going to the national competition because they finished already in the top 10 in the country. So we have 2 students this summer who will be going to Atlanta to earn a right to go in a world competition. So that just shows you just how much how our kids are really benefiting. We also been recognized by numerous journals, and the list just goes on and on and on. You notice there was something called Microsoft Imagine Cup. Out of the 18 students who were finalists in that competition, 9 came from Dunbar High School and advanced into and as you can see, if you are able to see, so many of the different features that we've had in different interviews, magazine interviews, and it just goes on and on and on. Okay, next. That's enough about technology, but we're going to talk about now some of the other parts of STEM, and that deals with science. Our science program is from what's called Project Lead the Way. Project Lead the Way is an organization that established itself to get students ready to excel in college in the areas of science and engineering. So you have over 100 colleges and universities who have put together a curriculum on a college level where students are presented with rigorous work so that they can go into these fields and not just be successful, not just get in, but to be at the top of their class. Give you an example that that last year, for instance, and we've only had this program, we're in our 3rd year, our biomedical science program in Project Lead the Way had a pharmacy team. That pharmacy team came in 2nd in a national competition called the Pharmacy Challenge. And so because what happens is that the teachers spent a lot of time with these students, and the program itself is amazing and it's truly powerful. So we were very excited about that. Our students in that program they're going off to medical schools, pre-med schools, as well as pre-pharmacy programs. And also we had students this year who at the science fair received full scholarships to Florida Gulf Coast because of their performance in the science fair. So we are excelling in that. Our next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about about Project Lead the Way. Project Lead the Way, and this is how credible of a program it is. It was recognized by the Harvard School of Education, Harvard School of Education, as an approach that engages students. Because you got to do more than just talk to students. You got to get them into how to do the work, the practicality of it. So many times our students learn the theory, so when they get to college, they're not really understanding what that career entails. In addition, Aerospace Industries Association officially endorsed Project Lead the Way, along with the Bayer Corporation, which is another biomedical piece to it. Some of the universities who are Project Lead the Way affiliates include Duke University, Purdue University, Florida State, Penn State, Rochester Institute of Technology, and many, many more. And recently, Florida Gulf Coast University became a Project Lead the Way affiliate just in the past 2 months. Next, I will tell you about, in addition with our engineering program, and I'll talk a little more about that. Just a month ago, our engineering students went to the aerospace competition, astronaut challenge, over in Cocoa at the NASA Center. They were only one of 6 teams invited to attend that competition. They've also competed in the AXO competition sponsored by the NAACP, the National AXO competition. And we had a student last year that placed 3rd at that National AXO competition, which is, as I said before, sponsored by the NAACP. We were the only school in Florida which qualified for the prestigious Siemens Challenge in our engineering program. So even though we're only in our 3rd year in our engineering program, they continue to get many accolades. And one of the areas, if you have a student who is really good at math, for minority students, engineering probably has the largest amount of scholarships available for minority students. they are out there. And at Dunbar High School, we're preparing students for that. They're building things like solar go-karts. They're also now working on a hovercraft. They're dealing with things called biofuels, which deals with conservation. Our students get into every area of engineering so that they will then be prepared to be at the top of their classes when they get to college. Also, in both of these Project Lead the Way areas, in the biomedical science, University of Florida will give students college credit for excelling in those programs. And many of these colleges and universities give college credit for the Project Lead the Way programs. Now, why do you want to go into STEM? Well, when you go to college, or if you go into whatever learning you do, the goal is to get employment. You know, you want to make sure that you have a marketable skill so you can get employed. Now, there's a table here, and just to give you an idea, the red is STEM, the blue deals with all other employments. If you look, you can see that STEM employment, in terms of the growth, is 3 times the amount of non-STEM employment. And if you look at the projected growth, it's going to be an 17% more of a growth than within the non-STEM. So we hear the economy's coming back, and it is coming back, but we want our students to be in the money-making area of that growth. Now, the next slide goes into a little more information that I think is interesting, and it's how much you're going to make. That's what students really want to know. You know, if I'm going to learn this, what's the difference? Well, I'll kind of go through this briefly. You see, there's a STEM column here, and it basically shows that a student who goes into a STEM type of field and gets a bachelor's degree is going to make a lot more than the students who are in the non-STEM for the same degree. And that deals with, because of the rigor and the applicability of it, there's a need. There are so many jobs that are out there, but there are not enough folks who have the skill set to fill them. The baby boomers are retiring. They're leaving the employment fields. One example we talked about programming. 30 years ago, when I went into college, programming was an emerging field. Then when we went to Microsoft Windows, kind of got away from programming. Well, now there's a shortage of programmers. And with that shortage, there's a need. So if you look at the STEM careers, there's just a huge difference in terms of what students will make who go into STEM as opposed to non-STEM. This is the hourly. Now our next slide here, and that deals with hourly rates. But let's go into our next slide, which deals with the whole piece about the demand and favorable earnings. And it goes into the 100,000 plus. So basically, the STEM average annual income, and you won't be able to see this that clearly, is $77,800. For the U.S. average of annual income is 43. There's about a $34,000 difference between STEM careers and non-STEM careers. That's huge. That's huge. And then some of the examples, $100,000 plus STEM occupations: natural science managers, engineering managers, computer systems managers, and petroleum engineers. So you hear it right there. Those are the jobs, and those are the types of things in STEM that we're doing at Dunbar High School. Now, as we're getting close to the end of our slides here, the fastest growing jobs, because, and I think we went past one. The fastest growing jobs are in the different areas here. Science majors. It goes into some of them are biochemists and biophysicists, biological technician. That's combining a lot of times the engineering with the biology. Because some of our kids at Dunbar, they go into the biomedical and the engineering. You have the environmental sciences. You have the medical science, the physicists. So in the science areas, those are some of the fastest growing jobs. Now in technology,